The anchor of exhale. Did you know that the most profound anchor we possess is not found in the earth, but in the air we release? Close your eyes, my dear listener, and let the gentle rhythm of your being become the only story that matters right now. I remember a time, not so long ago, when my mind felt like a kite caught in a high, erratic wind. I lay there, tense, trying to force the stillness, which is, of course, the opposite of how peace truly arrives. It was only when an old, wise friend, a person who spoke only in whispers and quiet truths, told me about the exhale, that things began to change. She didn't talk about deep breathing or techniques. She simply said, just imagine that your breath, as it leaves you, is a silver thread tethered to the softest point in the room. When you inhale, you are gathering the quiet. When you exhale, you are securing yourself to the stillness. Let us try that now, very gently. There is no need for force, only for allowing. Feel the soft weight of the air coming into your body, like light filling a spacious, familiar room. And now, feel the exquisite slow release. The exhale is where the true surrender happens. It is the moment we physically and emotionally release the small, sharp edges of the day. Think of everything you carried today, the tiny decisions, the quick frustrations, the persistent to-do list hovering just outside the lamplight of your focus. They are all made of something quite temporary, aren't they? They are like particles of dust caught in a sunbeam, and with this next exhale, let that sunbeam fade. Imagine, just for a moment, that your chest and shoulders, which might have been holding a subtle, tired tension, are now like a boat, letting down a perfectly weighted, moss-covered stone. Sigh. The anchor drops, and the movement slows to an almost imperceptible sway. Isn't it fascinating how the simple act of letting air go can feel like letting a heavy secret go, too? We spend so much time taking in information, tasks, nourishment, that we forget the profound cleansing gift of giving back to the air, unburdened. This golden rule of sleep starts not with a grand gesture, but with this quiet, continuous act of departure. Departure from noise, departure from expectation. You are not waiting for sleep. You are simply waiting in the quiet, held gently by the rhythmic ebb and flow of your own life force. There is nothing you need to achieve here, only something you need to allow to dissolve. Feel that slow, steady tethering thread of your breath, in and out softly, slowly. The out-breath is your guide, your softest promise that everything, just for now, is exactly as it should be. Just rest here for a moment, letting the exhale be your anchor, sinking you beautifully and safely into the soft sand of this peaceful night. The inner landscape of low light. Now that we are gently anchored by the rhythm of the breath, let us step across a gentle threshold into the imagination. Have you ever noticed how the mind, when it is truly relaxed, does not crave brightness? It seeks the softest, most forgiving light, the kind that allows shapes to blur and thoughts to become fluid. Tonight, let us build a place inside your mind, a sanctuary of low light, custom-made for deep rest. This isn't a place you need to organize or clean. It is simply a space of profound comfort waiting for you. Imagine that you are walking into a space defined only by silence and a muted glow. Perhaps it is an ancient library, but all the books are asleep on the shelves, their stories quiet, dust motes dancing lazily in a single narrow shaft of moonlight. The air here is cool, slightly humid, smelling faintly of old paper and stillness, or perhaps your inner landscape is a silent coastal dawn. The sun has not yet appeared, but there is a promise of warmth on the horizon, painted in soft watercolor hues of deep lavender and smoky rose. The water, completely still, whispers only the sound of itself. There are no gulls calling, no harsh waves crashing, only the quiet texture of the air against the skin. breathe into this image. Notice the deep, velvety richness of the shadows. They are not threatening shadows. They are simply resting places for the eye, comforting, heavy blankets draped over the corners of your worries. When we are awake, we demand clarity, sharp focus, and defined boundaries. But here, in the landscape of low light, we allow everything to blend. See how the lines between the ceiling and the wall, between the sea and the sky, are beautifully indistinct. Your thoughts, too, can be indistinct here. They are not headlines demanding attention. They are just wisps of light smoke that float lazily across your visual field, moving too slowly to catch, too gentle to mind. Tell me, my dear listener, where do you feel the most profound sense of quiet? Is it in the cool, massive silence of a redwood forest at night? Or perhaps in the gentle echo of a vast, empty canyon just before the moon rises? Let that place rise up around you now. Feel the temperature of the air change, settling to that perfect, ambient, just right temperature that encourages your muscles to soften just a fraction more. Rest your mind upon the muted colors, the charcoal, the midnight blue, the deep, resting greens. This inner space is yours, untouched by the demands of the day. It has no doors to lock and no deadlines to meet. It is merely an invitation to be quietly in the presence of softness. Let the low light wrap around your awareness like a heavy shawl, comforting and deeply familiar, guiding you away from the intensity of the day and toward the ease of the night. Just remain here, breathing in the quiet, breathing out the light, held beautifully in your own inner landscape. The softening of edges. Life, when we are awake, often feels full of sharp, non-negotiable corners, deadlines, expectations, the need to be right. But the golden rule of sleep requires an entirely different posture, the profound act of softening the edges. Think of your worries not as heavy, solid facts, but as small, tired boats. Throughout the day, these boats have been busy, carrying cargo of should-haves and what-ifs. They docked and undocked, rushed and hurried. Now, as the soft, deep twilight settles over the water, these boats are simply exhausted. And they don't need to be sunk or argued with or even inspected closely. They simply need permission to drift. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet, moonlit shore, watching a small fleet of these worry boats slowly push off. They are not rushing. They are not panicked. They are moving away on a current that is gentle, slow, and utterly inevitable. The current is taking them to a far, misty harbor where nothing is required of them until the sun rises again. As they move away, their sharp masts and defined hulls begin to blur in the distance. They soften. The edges that felt so insistent just an hour ago, the worry about tomorrow's presentation, the sharp regret over a careless word spoken, the boundary you tried too hard to hold, they are all losing definition. This softening isn't about ignoring difficulty. It is about recognizing that in this moment, under the vast canopy of night, those difficulties do not require your immediate, active attention. They are placed in the holding pattern of the darkness, which always promises to return things to us renewed, or at least recontextualized. Don't you find it peaceful, this realization that we don't always have to be in charge? Sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves is to simply step back and allow the natural, quiet currents of rest to take over. Feel the muscles around your eyes relax now, melting away the need to look or control. Feel your jaw unclench, letting the words you held back or spoke too quickly become just soft, formless breath. You are simply allowing the natural boundary between tension and ease to dissolve. It's like watching a wax candle slowly melt into itself. The form changes, becomes less rigid, and the light glows softer. Tonight, let every demanding edge within you turn into a curve, a graceful arc of surrender. Nothing is urgent enough to keep this gentle tide from pulling you toward peace. You are perfectly safe on the shore, watching the tired boats drift silently away. Just this gentle letting go, this quiet, beautiful softening. Rest here in the lovely, effortless curve of now. The sound of silence, understood. Sometimes, when we try to find quiet, we are simply waiting for the absence of sound. We wait for the traffic to stop, for the heating system to click off, for the last distant voices to fade. But that is the sound of nothingness, and true rest requires something much richer. It requires the sound of silence understood. This is not a vacuum. This is the background hum of the vast, continuous world, so gentle that it actually provides a soft, audible carpet upon which your mind can safely lie down. Listen now, very closely, without trying to block anything out. Do you hear the gentle shift of the house, the faint electric sigh of the clock, the distant muffled murmur of existence carrying on, unaware of your quiet sanctuary? This sound, this continuous low-level resonance, is the universe assuring you of its stability. It is the sound of persistence, a deep, ancient frequency that has been playing beneath every human experience for millennia. When I was younger, I used to get so frustrated by small night sounds. Every creak and click felt like an interruption, but one evening, while sitting by a still lake, a night so clear you could hear the silence itself, I realized those small sounds were not disruptions. They were merely texture. They were the subtle brushstrokes that give the canvas of quiet its depth. Think of the quiet not as a destination you must reach, but as a vast, heavy, velvet curtain draped across the room. The occasional muffled sound, a distant car, the gentle rain starting, does not tear the velvet. It only makes the presence of the velvet itself more noticeable. And beneath all of that, there is the sound of your own being, the steady, quiet beat of your heart, a comforting rhythm that has never once failed you. It is the most reliable drum in the orchestra of your life. Listen to it now. Thump, thump, slowing, steadying. This sound is uniquely yours. It is the secret language of your body saying, I am here, I am safe, I am sustaining. The sound of silence understood is the comforting recognition that even in the deepest quiet you are connected to your own gentle core, to the stability of the night, and to the ceaseless quiet flow of time. It asks nothing of you except to listen without analysis, to simply let the quiet wash over you like a warm, slow river. Rest in this rich, textured quiet, letting your inner dialogue be swallowed and softened by the gentle, endless hum of the world, the unfurling of memory. As we settle deeper into the night's embrace, the mind naturally seeks something to occupy itself. But instead of letting it grasp for worries or future plans, let us gently guide it toward a memory, not a grand event, but a single, uncomplicated moment of pure, simple contentment from the day that has just passed. This is the unfurling of memory. It's like opening a beautifully wrapped small gift that requires no planning and offers only warmth. Perhaps earlier today you stopped for a moment and noticed the way the light fell on a simple object, the perfect gold of a kitchen counter at sunset, or the vibrant, unexpected green of a single leaf clinging to a winter branch. Maybe it was the quiet comfort of a warm drink held just right in your hands, or a moment of shared, easy laughter with someone you cherish. Don't seek the biggest or the most important memory. Seek the one that felt the most unburdened. Imagine that memory unfurling now, not as a detailed film, but as a soft, still photograph. You are simply stepping back into the warmth of that single sensory experience. I remember once feeling profoundly stressed. I was outside, and I felt a brief, unexpected gust of warm air on a cool evening. It was so fleeting, but so perfectly placed, that for just a second all the internal clamor stopped. It was a little wave of unexpected kindness from the atmosphere itself. That's the feeling we are looking for now. Let your chosen moment settle over you like a warm, protective blanket. It doesn't need analysis or context. It is simply evidence that the day held moments of ease, and that ease is always available, even when we forget to notice it. Hold the sensory details of that simple moment. The subtle texture of the air, the hue of the light, the faint accompanying sound. Let it fill the spaces that were recently occupied by hurried thoughts. This is a profound act of self-compassion, isn't it? To deliberately choose a memory that confirms the presence of quiet grace in your own life. You are not dwelling on the past, you are simply using a soft reflection as a pathway to present peace. The mind is soothed when it is given a simple, beautiful truth to focus on. And tonight, the truth is that you experience something purely good, and you deserve to hold that softness close as you drift toward rest. Let that warm, simple memory be the last thing you consciously embrace before the sleep takes you. The weightless body. We have anchored the mind, settled the heart, softened the boundaries, and warmed our awareness. Now let us guide the body, this marvelous, hard-working vessel, into a state of deep, luxurious rest, the feeling of the weightless body. When we are truly relaxed, we don't feel heavy, grounded, or even entirely present. We feel diffused, light, almost as if gravity has forgotten to exert its full influence upon us. Gently turn your attention now to the physical sensation of rest. Start at your toes. Feel the soft, dull ache of the day's journey, that quiet hum of effort, begin to dissipate. Imagine that every muscle fiber in your feet and calves is suddenly turning into something lighter, something yielding, like fine, dry sand slowly pouring away. Move this gentle awareness up your legs, past your knees and hips. Feel the large muscles softening, becoming smooth and quiet, like warmed stones that have released all the cold and tension they were holding. They are not heavy, they are merely present, resting. Now, the torso. The chest and shoulders are often where we unknowingly store our responsibilities. Imagine them now as two strong wings that have completed a long flight and are now simply folded at perfect rest. Allow the shoulders to melt down away from your ears, settling into the mattress as if they were sinking into cool, deep water. And your hands, those instruments of action and care. Let the fingers unclench and spread slightly. Feel the quiet pulse in your wrist. Allow your arms to become loose, soft reeds floating on a still pond. The most profound release comes to the neck and face. Let the back of your neck become long and fluid. Release the small, vigilant muscles around your forehead and eyes. They have done enough watching for the day. Allow the entire facial mask of expression to soften and smooth until there is no tension left, only a quiet, resting blankness. Do you feel it? The delightful paradox of this moment. You are both completely present, aware of the surface you rest upon, yet simultaneously feeling the effortless sensation of floating. It is as if you are mist settling over the ground, gentle and diffuse, with no defined shape, perfectly held by the air around you. There is nothing you need to hold up, nothing to support, nothing to brace against. Just this profound, beautiful release. Your body is now in the safe, quiet harbor, finally untying all the ropes of effort. Rest in this beautiful, unburdened weightlessness, sinking deeper and deeper into the knowledge that you are completely, wonderfully held. The first soft knock of dream. We have arrived at the final quiet threshold. This is the moment when the mind realizes it is no longer required to organize, analyze, or even observe the world with precision. It is the moment we hear the first soft knock of dream. Sleep is not an abrupt blackout. It is a transition, a beautiful, gradual blurring of consciousness. Instead of fighting the strange, disjointed thoughts that might drift through now, we welcome them as signs that the inner guard is stepping down. Imagine your thoughts now are not made of language, but of color and form, like slowly moving clouds of colored smoke or abstract shimmering shapes moving across a vast, dark screen. They have no names and they require no explanation. They are simply the visual, fluid poetry of the mind beginning its quiet, nocturnal work. The first soft knock of the dream is gentle. It may appear as a sudden flash of a meaningless image, a green door, a floating feather, a voice that says one word you can't quite grasp. Don't engage with it. Simply observe it as evidence of the shift. It is like waiting for a friend who is due to arrive very late. You don't stand at the door impatiently. You sit comfortably by the fire, knowing they will arrive when the time is perfect. The dream is your familiar, kind guest. Allow yourself to fall in love with the feeling of this cognitive drift. It is a state unique to this moment, hovering elegantly between the known world and the mysterious, restorative deep. Your job is not to hold on to consciousness, but to allow it to be gently carried away, like a small boat released from the harbor into the open, starlit sea. Is there a warmth spreading through your chest now? A deep, settled calm that feels almost heavy and sweet. This is the body and the mind agreeing. It is time to relinquish the helm. Let the abstract shapes of thought become slower, wider, and hazier. Let the inner narrative dissolve into pure sensation. You are giving yourself permission to cross that final, lovely boundary where logic gives way to wonder and the world of tasks is exchanged for the world of rest. The dream has knocked. You are simply softening, opening the door without needing to say a single word, ready to be quietly led away. The untouched page. This is the golden rule of sleep realized. As you drift now, held perfectly between wakefulness and dream, let us settle upon this final, perfect visualization, the image of the untouched page. Imagine your mind not as a cluttered attic or a busy highway, but as a brand new, beautifully bound journal. It is open, lying flat on a smooth wooden desk in a quiet room, bathed in the soft, diffused moonlight. And the current page, the one right before you, is completely blank. It is an untouched, clean expanse, unbound by the chaos of yesterday and unwritten with the worries of tomorrow. There are no lists here, no arguments, no demands, and no past regrets bleeding onto the fresh surface. This page is purely possibility. It is waiting, perfectly neutral, perfectly silent. We spend so much of our conscious life filling pages with plans, with conversation, with reaction, with anxiety. But right now, your only assignment is to keep this page pristine, to simply be the quiet waiting for the first beautiful unscripted sentence of deep rest. You don't need to write anything profound or solve any lingering puzzle. The act of sleep itself is the greatest piece of poetry your mind can create. Right now, feel the deep, pervasive calm of having nothing left to do. The silence is not empty. It is full of this lovely waiting potential. Think of it. All the stories you lived today are now closed for the night, nestled safely in the chapters you have already turned, and the stories of tomorrow do not yet exist. They will be written tomorrow with fresh light and renewed energy. But tonight, there is only this profound, unburdened pause. Rest your entire being, your heart, your heavy head, your quiet spirit, upon the surface of this untouched page. Feel the smooth, comforting texture of the paper beneath you. This page is the place where true peace resides, in the absolute, beautiful clarity of not needing to be anything more than simply resting. You have done enough. You have sought the calm, and now the calm has utterly found you. Let the final thoughts that drift through be like faint wisps of steam rising from a warm cup, dissolving before they can mark the beautiful, clean slate. Just rest now, my dear listener. Rest deeply, knowing you are safe, cherished, and exactly where you need to be. The quiet embrace of sleep is here, and it welcomes you fully onto its softest, most untouched page. Good night, and may your dreams be as gentle and deep as the silence we have found together.